Shalom, Israel. U.P.K. Jamaica. This one of place up. Shalom, Israel. I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. Broadcasting from Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K. began at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K. is run I.S.U.P.K. Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K. is run by Commanding General YAHANNA. One man given the rank and authority to lead Israel in this time. I want to say Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Barakatah to my brothers. Yahweh Shamaril Atan Basham, Yahweh Shai to my sisters. What are we looking at this evening? We are looking at who are the Israelites in Jamaica. Who are the Israelites in Jamaica? Hello, that don't pick up enough. All right. Reading Super I am Officer Abadawan and reading Super Akaya. All right, let's begin. Deuteronomy 27 and 1.
Deuteronomy 27 and verse 1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying,
So Moses and the elders, big of older persons of Israel at the time, of the Israelites in that time, command the people, saying what?
keep all the commandments which I commanded you this day.
Keep all the commandments which I command you this day. So this is what the Most High tell Moses to tell the Israelites. Told Moses to tell the Israelites. Keep all commandments which I command you this day. 28 and 1.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
And it shall come to pass means that it shall happen. In the condition now, you know. It shall happen, continue.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh.
And it shall happen, if you shall listen diligently unto the voice of the Most High God, Yahweh. Well, we know him as Yahweh, but in the Bible it says, of the Lord thy God. Continue.
To observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day.
To observe and to do. To observe and to do, or to observe and to say?
To observe and to do.
Right. So there's an action here. Observe the commandments which the Most High is giving and do them. Continue.
The Lord thy God will set thee and I above all nations of the earth.
That if you observe and do these commandments, the Most High God will set you and I above what?
Above all nations of the earth.
So this is where the Israelites should have been, above all nations of the earth. So we are trying to identify them in Jamaica now. So which nation in Jamaica is above all nations of the earth? Was only the white man. Continue. That's one. 1, 2, drop down to 15. Drop down to verse 15.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
All right, so 15 begins with but. So from you see, it's beginning with but. You know, it's showing you the other side or the reverse side of what was stated earlier. So it shall come to pass that
if thou shall not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
if thou will not. So if we will, if the Israelites will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments. So earlier I said, if you listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do what he is commanding you this day, you shall be an eye above all people. And then now it says, but, so that you being him, the Israelites being an eye above all people, is based on the condition that they do all the commandments of the Most High God, the Most High Yahweh. And here now it's showing you what happens if you do not observe to do his commandments. This is the thing, you know, Israelites don't realize that you don't really have a choice, you know, unless you choose to die. I remember one, well, Sarabad said, even death is a choice. But we always choose life. So we're not looking on the death side. But we're not having a choice, meaning that we don't have that liberty to go off and, well, the Israelites don't have that liberty to go off and eat what they want to eat and worship any God they want to worship, and all will be well. Not so. Continue.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
The curses shall take the Israelites if they do not do the commandment. If they do not do the commandments of the Most High Yahweh. So, that's it, 15. So these curses shall come and overtake you like a, a bad dog or a cow running you down and catching up with you and do what they want to do with you. So this is saying that the curses shall overtake you and overtake the Israelites, and these are the things that would happen to them. Verse 16.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So one of the curses is that you shall be cursed in the city, and you shall be cursed in the field. Now, being cursed in the city, here is referring to what happens in the city. Exchange of money, commerce. So if you are blessed in the city, it means that the commercial exchange in the city, your people will be in the benefit of these commercial exchange. But if you are cursed in the city, then it means then that your people will be on the other side, not benefiting from in any great way from the commercial exchange in the city. So, like we're talking about Jamaica now, check our cities. Commercial exchange in the cities take place through businesses. Who control those businesses? You will see whites, you will see the races that just control the cities. Arab, white, Indian, Chinese, um, Chinese, Japanese. Yeah, you have little Japanese business out here too. How much blacks? We have a few Hispanics living out here. How much blacks or Hispanics do we see having business here in Jamaica? Just a few, if any. We're in a situation now where you see the Moabites controlling basically all our town centers now. They control the retail, wholesale retail aspect of our businesses. Other business now like some real money making, the real money making business, motor car sales and all that. And that's about the second hand car sale. Car sale from the dealer and so on, where the money is at. The whites control those. You find that is the Edomites control that. Hello. Yeah. I'm going to let you talk with Andrea. I'm in class. Hold on, man. All right. So That's what. That's 16. Oh, that's curse in the city. Yes. And one thing in the city now, in our town areas. You're going to anyone in the town areas. Man, we control the flat foot hustling man. The flat foot hustlers. That's us. The workers in the city. Yeah, that's us. Go and you open you start your boss business and the boss coming after. And, oh boy, yeah, that's terrible day. I'm tired, man. I couldn't come in any earlier. But you do that. That's if you have any job. You got to be there because what? You are the slave. You should be at work 8 o'clock. Means you should be at work 8 o'clock. You leave at 5 means you leave at 5 or 4. So you are the slave in the city. So that's one curse that is on blacks in Jamaica. We don't see the Chinese being cursed in our cities. You ever see a Chinese madman in any city? Where? Anytime you see a Chinese gone cuckoo in any one of your cities, the Chinese community, you see them for a while and the Chinese community come and take them up and take care of them. Because they have the resource. They are the ones that are being blessed. You never see a Chinese doing flat foot hustling in Jamaica. What they call buy and sell. Walk around and sell. You never see an Arab. You never see a Japanese. And not to mention the white man. You never see any of those people doing any flat foot hustling in our cities. So this curse is being fulfilled on the blacks that are here in Jamaica. Curse in the field. In the field, what do you do in the field? Agriculture. Now, our market is flooded with produce that are grown by China. I can't tell when last I see a locally grown onion. A locally grown, yeah, onion too. But I was referring to the garlic. Locally grown garlic, locally grown onion. You have few locally grown potato and carrot. But the majority of things are imported, grown by other races, not grown by us. Because obviously, we are the ones that are cursed. And many times when black persons are farming in Jamaica, how much acres? If a black man have a 50-acre farm in Jamaica, not really long time. You might get a couple crops from it, but the majority of the time that land is idle because you can rest assured there is no water on that land. So you might have the land, but you don't have the water. That is a curse too. And you might plant the crop, pest, take it over. That is a curse as well. Pest, drought, not to mention predator larceny. You're rearing animal. You'll be lucky because nowadays when the thieves come, they take everything. You have 30 head of goat, they take all of them. They don't even leave you with some to say, all right, I can grow back the flock. Take everything. All right, let's go down to 32.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Well, you see, all right, finish it. Continue.
and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long.
And their eyes shall look and feel with longing, longing to see them, you know. So, you know, slavery existed in Jamaica. Just 18 something since slavery abolished. Slavery did exist in Jamaica. And while, while we were in slavery, your young, your offspring would be taken from you and sold. You can't do anything about it. Can you imagine somebody coming into your house, into your home, and just take away your children, carry them to the marketplace, tell them you know that they are being sold, you can't buy them, and you can't do anything about the sale. That is where the might in your hand gone. So that was what we were reduced to. Today, we see human trafficking and call it modern day slavery. We hear the story of about two young girls in Jamaica from the country here went to Montego Bay to work at a given name hotel. When they went into the city to meet the person to take them to the hotel, no one heard from them again. And they were discovered in Mexico. They were found in Mexico. Can you imagine you leave your countryside? You didn't buy any plane ticket, you don't even have a passport. And you leave to go to the city for employment, and you end up in another country. But this curse now fulfilled on your parents. Your son and your daughter taken from you, given to another people, and your eyes look with longing to see them. And there are many missing cases in Jamaica. So you know that that's what is been happening to a lot of the missing people. They end up in other countries, serving other people as slaves. Women go as sex slaves, men too. You have men being carted off as sex slaves, women sold as sex slaves, and men go as our young boys go as either sex slaves or workers. Maybe somewhere in some country, in some bush work in the farm, they don't even know where they are. Wow, can you imagine that? And you have no might in your hand to do anything about it. Verse 48. Drop down to 48.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So the curse, another curse is that you shall serve your enemies which the Lord shall send against thee. We did serve the white man, and we are serving other races out here as well. Continue.
In hunger.
Yep.
And in thirst.
You know, I used to believe that slaves were well fed, until I listened to the slave narrative that you can find on YouTube. And the slaves said that they were always hungry and they were always thirsty because they work like what, 12 hours. Start work 7 in the morning, stop working about 7 in the evening. And the master not cooking any food for you, like for lunch or breakfast or dinner or whatever. The slaves have to find the time to cook their meal in between. And there is a story in America too. Now this story is the slaves in the slave narrative that's on YouTube. Give the story of um like when they're picking cotton, they they have to pick cotton, cook their own lunch. So when they cook like in group, the one who they might designate to be the chef for that day still have the same quota like everybody else, They have to find time to cook and pick. Right. So it's not like the slaves are well. As a matter of fact, it's also a strategy of the master to keep them hungry. They're hungry, you can't fight. You can't run away. Hungry man can't run go anywhere. And if you run, he can't go far. A hungry man can't pick up sword or gun or whatever to fight. So they were in hunger, in thirst, and what else?
And in nakedness.
Nakedness and don't have any clothes. I get some second-hand clothes from the master. Continue.
And in want of all things.
Right. They own nothing. They want roof over their head. They want shoes on their feet. They want clothes on the back. They want food in their belly. They want water to quench their thirst. Slaves have nothing. So you are in want of all things when you are in slavery. What you own? You don't even own your children. Hey, go to your master, the master don't business with you. The only thing the master give on Christmas time now you get the one suit of clothes. Old clothes. Food, master don't business with you. The slave said that they had to plant their own food too. Plant their own food, plant for the master, and whatever crop the master had, they had to grow that crop too. So they were in want of every single thing. Put it to today. Today, we are in want. Though we are in want of the slavery, we are in want of job. Everybody, well, no want, that job, I meet several persons just introduce them to the truth. Why, where I said truth, but I don't want to know is that job. So what they're saying now, they don't want the freedom that we are giving them to the truth. They want to continue to be a slave. That is why here in the UPK we call their work slavery. Because it takes precedence over everything else that you do. Because you have to feed yourself. That's it, we finished that.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
That was there as well. White man never forgot that one. Man, slavery was like the Iron Age. Yeah, man, a lot of iron was in demand because what? They had to put that yoke around the slave's neck. Heavy iron, so you can't run away. Have to get off that first. Continue.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Right, so by the time the yoke came off in 18 something, 1838 for Jamaica.
Gone.
Yeah, but 1838 for Jamaica, slavery was abolished. Right, Amar? I think that's a year. But when the yoke did come off at that time, who then knew that they were Israelites? They were all destroyed by that time. Or I should say, we were all destroyed by that time. Being destroyed meaning that we don't know ourselves. We own nothing. We don't identify with any land. We don't identify with any ruler. We did not know our cultural dressing, cultural way of speaking, our native tongue, our native language. This is what it takes to destroy you. Just think of you yourself now. Find yourself in a situation where somebody can erase your memory. That's what slavery was. It was that mechanism used to erase our memory. Not to remember that we were slaves. So that part never come out. But who were we before slavery? We don't know. We know that we were taken from the coastline of Africa. That's what we know. But we soon get to that point. All right, that was what? That was 48, 49.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Now, 49 here is a very interesting verse. While we were on the coastline of Africa, fleeing from religious persecution from as far back as 70 AD, we were kicked out of Jerusalem. Fleeing from Roman religious persecution, we were obeying Christ's command when he said that we should flee to the mountain. So we end up in Africa, past the Sahara Desert, somewhere the coastline, the sea coast. But we found ourselves on the west coast of Africa. And there sprung up many civilizations. But we knew who we were. The Africans knew who we were. The Hamites, they knew who we were. The Hamites knew that we were their people. So, when that time come for the Father to send, what is it? To send a nation against us from far. Funny enough, it was the Europeans who came against us. And there was Europe was coming from a time when they say if they sail across, they see the horizon as the end of the earth. The Europeans used to teach that in their school. That's the end of the earth. That was why Columbus had a problem in getting ships to sail. Because they were saying if you sail out there, you're going to fall off. But that's what the Most High says. From the end of the earth, this nation came from. So I just said, I find it ironical where they used to teach that in Europe, and then they are the ones who came against us. So technically they came from the end of the earth, sail across the horizon, as swift as the eagle flight. Yeah, and all the dominant white race. Any tribe of Esau or the white man that is dominant among themselves always bear the eagle. The Romans had it. The Spanish had it. I think the Portuguese had it. And now America have it. So all these great, the ruling class of the white man always bear the eagle. And here it says, as swift as the eagle flies. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And even until today, we still don't fully understand English. Because after being with the white man for 400 years and him speak English and we being with them, we still cannot speak as much as they speak. They speak what they call patois. Each each race, each tribe of Israelites who come against the black man, even when they speak English, develop a different dialect. None of us speak it the way they speak it. And now they tell you that you have attention deficit disorder and that you have it in high definition. All right, modernize it now. We have attention deficit disorder, ADHD. All right, continue now. Verse 50.
Verse 50. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Nation of fierce countenance. Yeah. When the white man came up against us, they looked fierce. There was no pity in their eye. Kill the old, kill the young, take the in-between age as slaves. Take your young as slaves. During slavery, even after the wars and the skirmishes, during slavery, an old person who was a slave had no lesser task than the young. Same task. There were no, nowadays you have age of retirement. There was no age of retirement during slavery. Huh? Right. The retirement was death. And now we have an age of majority that we say 18. So the person does not work start working until they're 18. It wasn't like that during slavery. When the child can say, Mommy, and him start walk. Yeah, man, him start being a slave. First thing the little one go there to learn to do is to pick cotton with the parents. And by the time they reach 5, they had the same quota for picking as with the young. Well, out here it was a bit different because a 5-year-old can really wheel a machete to cut the sugar cane. And the cutting of the sugar cane in the sun, that was a task. But then they realized that the machete wheelers actually developed more strength. And that's one of the things why Jamaica and them stay like all this. Right, so we did not understand their tongue. And until this day, we still do not fully understand their tongue. 64.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64. And Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So the Most High shall scatter the Israelites among all people. So the Israelites are being scattered among all people. From what? From one end of the earth.
From one end of the earth even to the other.
All right, just think of the extreme poles. Extreme north, extreme south. What do you have in between there? Landmass. So here it is now telling you that from the North Pole to the South Pole and all the landmass in between, the Most High's children, 12 tribes, will be scattered. So you have Israelites in all nations on the face of the earth today. And it is the doing of the Most High because the Israelites will not listen. So the Most High didn't do it out of doing it for, doing it for good sake. The Most High did that because the Israelites would not listen to him. In order so there is safety and strength in numbers. Yeah, it's more difficult to conquer a group of nations. Check for instance the Chinese, 1.8 billion. Chinese more difficult to conquer and control than probably that is why they have never been wholesalely conquered. Because mass. But the Most High is scattering us. Put some here, some there, some all about. You are easily conquered that way because you haven't been gelled together. And even until today, we're still being scattered. Migration level in Jamaica is high. Serve what? Shall serve what? And there thou shalt serve what?
Other gods,
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Even what?
wood and stone.
Even wood and stone. All right. Christianity have the wooden cross. Muslims have the carved stone. Somebody burning something. So it is doing of the Most High, and they do this because, okay, fine, you won't listen to me. You listen to these people and you think that these people love you. Go on and serve them. Go on and serve them. And you will see if they love you. And every single one who will put us amongst show no love. Every nation that the Most High put his people against has taken disadvantage of his people. And yet his people, today, even today, you still have these people saying, so what about the white man? The white man can't be saved. Funny, they never ask about the Chinaman, or the Japanese, or the Arab, or the next nation. First one they ask about. So about the white man? He can't be saved. Maybe subconsciously they know that the white man is so wicked that maybe they feel that he need, He need a special redemption. So they say, what about the white man? probably the other side of that question is, what about the white man? Him being so wicked, he can't see himself. The Most High said no mercy for it. And it's the only one he said no mercy for. Every nation has hurt his people, but there's only one he'll be showing no mercy. All right. And those nations that we go amongst, Muslim, when the white man captured us, they gave us Christianity. And so you know that Christianity is not really, you know, them package Christianity to resemble our Jewish faith. Sorry, to resemble our true faith, not Jewish, but resemble what we were being taught in Jerusalem, and just give it back to you and call it Christianity and use it to oppose you, oppress you. Muslims do that. Take your laws, package it, or I should say repackage it, call it Islam, and they use it to oppress many of the Most High's children. Buddhism took all them religions from him. They take something from Israel, you know, put in their religion and teach it back to you. Yeah, the amount of blacks living in China and Beijing is astonishing. And people are of the view that, you know, it is not a black people living in China. I have over 1 million blacks living in China, in Beijing. The most eyes people, a whole lot. All right, we drop down to 68.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
All right, so while being on the coastline of Africa, what remove us from there to where we are? So ships. Continue.
By the way whereof I spoke unto thee. Spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
Thou shalt see it no more again. So from 70 AD, you know, some people want to challenge our telephone. I mean, you can buy a ticket and go back to Jerusalem and see Jerusalem. Yeah, but as a nation, have we been there? I can buy a plane ticket and fly to Jerusalem. Any one of us can do that. But as a nation, are we there as a people? No, we are not. Continue.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
So when we came in the West here, we were sold as what?
Bondmen and bondwomen.
And there is no other nation that can claim this, that they were sold this way in slavery. The nation, the entire nation, losing their kingdom and everybody being carted off into slavery. No other nation can say this happened to them. This happened to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Because the Native Indians, they did find themselves on ship and some of the Hispanics. They went on ship went into Europe as slaves, or went from down south to up north, or up north to down south. They were moving ships as well as slaves. And many of them were carted off in Europe as slaves. So this did fulfill on the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And that was how many of us got to Jamaica. Came here on slave ship. And we were sold as bondmen, and meaning that you were sold as bondman and bondwoman in slave. You're under bondage. And you have to work. And what? No man shall what?
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you. Every time I read it, I can't but reflect on what you read in a book in the Bible printed by, what do you call them again?
Jehovah's Witnesses.
By the Jehovah's Witnesses. This part here, them say that you will sell yourself into slavery and no man shall buy you. If I'm going to sell myself into slavery, I'm not rich. I'm the one who's going to get the money. So, but that's not it. That is just the white man trying to justify. After realizing really the Bible realizing the mistakes that they have made. They're trying to correct it. But it's done happen already. In the same way we were on the coastline of Africa awaiting our fate. Because our fate was already sealed from we got kicked out of Jerusalem. That we are going to find ourselves in slavery. So we were just there awaiting the punishment. Well, I can't tell the white man, you don't have to wait so you won't be waiting so long as we have waited. Still. But the only thing you can do is just sit and await your punishment. It's coming. The most I might move a little bit slow, but in your eyes, but it's coming. Right. So no man shall buy you here means that no man shall free you. Because in our laws, yeah, you could have slaves, you could have bondman and bondwomen by our law. But our law also allow for those persons to be free. Their relatives could buy them out of slavery. Yeah. And it tell you the amount that they should pay. Our laws cover that. But here now it is saying, no man shall free us. No man shall buy us out of slavery. And no man has seek to done so. As a matter of fact, they don't even want to pay you for the labor with it that you're working. Still expecting to work cheap labor now. Or, well, they don't say free labor again now. What they don't know by law, they ban free labor. But it's cheap labor. Because the money that you get is really just to cover your overhead expenses. Feed you. Like here in Jamaica, you go through NHC, you buy a house, and you spend the rest of your working years paying off that loan for your house. But, like you say, you are not slave. I say you are, and the Most High is saying that you are, but you thinking that you are not, you are in a worse position. One of the worst slaves you can have is the one who don't know that he's a slave. The mind that doesn't know that it is not free. That's the worst mind you can have. So, no man shall buy you. No man shall free you. So according to this Deuteronomy 28, the curses These fulfill on us that have been through the slave trade in Jamaica. We have a few Hispanics who migrated to Jamaica, but 90% of us came through the slave trade. All right, let's look at the color now of identifying God's people. How the Bible identifies the Most High people by skin color. People say that color doesn't matter. Dude, this is another wicked act. And so much of our people have bought into it. The Bible describes the color, skin color of Christ, skin color of the Most High, skin color of his angels. But the white man is going to tell you that color doesn't matter. So in other words, the white man read the Bible and him tell you, hey, God don't know what I say here, color don't matter. Yeah, yeah, that's the white man. Then listen to some of them stories. You wonder if there's any logical thinking remaining in this world. Daniel 7 and 9.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. I beheld till the thrones
What? And you what?
I beheld
Yeah. Okay.
till the thrones were cast down, and the ancient of days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool.
All right. Daniel said, I beheld till the thrones were cast up. You know which thrones Daniel talking about here? Who can guess? Who can guess that one? What thrones? Huh? The kingdoms of the earth. Revelation. Come back again in Revelation and say, the angel made the proclamation that the kingdom of the earth is now the kingdom of our Lord Christ. Is now the kingdom of God. So this is what Daniel was seeing, you know. I beheld until the thrones were cast down. All the thrones and various government of the earth were cast down. And the only throne left standing
Ancient of days.
was the Most High's throne. Continue.
His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
Is what?
And his wheels like burning fire, as burning fire.
All right. So what else was Daniel seeing here now? He saw the ancients of days sitting on the throne. He saw the ancient of days in his garment as white as snow, and the hair of his head. He saw the head of the Most High, woolly hair, and his throne. Like you know that is a thing they was seeing though. A chariot. So a chariot the Most High was in, you know. That's why he says the wheels. Continue.
As burning fire.
Right. And his wheels as burning fire. The throne was like a fiery flame. As a chariot. A fiery flame. What's a fiery flame? One that flickers, eh? So the chariot was the same thing. Flickering, fiery flame. and his wheels like a burning fire. All right. So Daniel saw the Most High here, and his hair was like pure wool. Revelation 1, 13 to what, 15?
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
All right. So John the Revelator was seeing a vision. All right. Read verse 1. Go back up to verse 1.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him.
Which God gave unto him. Him who gave unto him Christ. Yahweh. To
show unto his servants.
To show unto us, his servants.
Things which must shortly come to pass.
Right. The things which must shortly come to pass. Remember, this was Revelation is after Christ, you know. So all the things that you are reading about in Revelation is after Christ. And who was it shown to?
His servant.
Continue. And he sent.
And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Right. So drop down to 13 now. John speaking. John was having a vision saw a vision with 7 candlesticks. Continue.
And one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So he had something like a robe all the way down to his foot. And
gird about the pops.
About the waist, right?
With a golden girdle.
Right. So you have this broad golden belt. Girdle like belt. Continue.
Verse 14. His head and his ear and his hairs were white like wool.
All right. Yeah, continue.
As white as snow.
So, in Daniel saw God the Father, his hair being white. John the Revelator saw Yahweh his son, his hair being white like wool, so they both had woolly hair. Continue.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Red eyes, because he drank many wine.
Verse 15.
So they used to call him a wine bibber.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So here now, the Most High gave John the Revelator. Sorry, Christ gave John the Revelator a vision of what Christ looked like. Christ in his majesty. And John saw his feet. And his feet were like brass burned in a furnace. His feet were black. To burn anything it's black. Yeah, you can get technical and tell me about some things in chemistry that you burn and you get some white ash. You get white. But Brass has been burned in furnace is not white. It's black. It's specific here. So Christ being black, yet the church is going to tell you that color doesn't matter. So why would the Most High go through the problem of showing you this? What Godhead look like, God the Father head looks like Christ the Son, and Christ the Son have black skin. Continue. Finish?
Answer.
Alright, drop down to Daniel 10, 5 and 6.
Daniel chapter 10 and verse 5. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and beheld a certain man clothed in linen, whose lines were girt with fine gold of Uphaz.
Daniel 10.
Daniel 10 and 5.
So Daniel was having a vision here of seeing someone doing what?
Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and beheld a certain man clothed in linen.
So Daniel was seeing a man clothed in linen whose loins
were girt with fine gold of Uphaz.
So his loins, the same way like in Revelation, the loins was girded with gold, the golden girdle. Come on, 6 now.
Verse 6. His body also was like the beryl.
Alright, and beryl is what? Greenish, eh? Right, so the garment he had on was greenish. Right.
And his face has the appearance of lightning.
Right.
And his eyes as lamps of fire.
Right, red eyes.
And his arms and his feet like the color of polished brass.
Right. So Daniel saw Christ as well as John the Revelator. So Daniel was way before Christ, and he saw a vision of Christ. John the Revelator was about the time of Christ, and he still saw Christ in a vision. But color doesn't matter. Continue.
And the voice of his word like the voice of a multitude.
And the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. So, John the Revelator, Daniel now hearing the voice of multitude is what? A strong, powerful voice that you know. So Christ has a strong, powerful voice, but his skin was like color to polished brass. Just like how you black person here in Jamaica look. Like onto polished brass. Alright. Ezekiel 1, 5 to 7. So you see how God the Father look and you see how Christ the Son look. Daniel, Ezekiel 1.
Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 5. Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures.
All right. So Ezekiel was seeing a vision here. He saw something not looking like a man. Some call it creatures. So out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. Continue.
And this was their appearance.
All right. So this 4 angels that is over Israel. You know. Continue.
They are the likeness of a man.
They look like man.
Verse 6.
Uh-huh.
And everyone had 4 faces.
Terrible looking. And look like a man, but they have 4 faces. One here in front and one on this side, one on the left and one behind. 4 faces. Continue.
And everyone had 4 wings.
Ah, they could fly. Continue.
Verse 7. And their feet were straight feet.
Right.
And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot.
Tender. Soft and tender.
And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass.
So they sparkled. So they were black, but they were white. But what the word we use now when a person well dressed?
Yeah.
Eh? When a black man well dressed now, what we say?
He's dapper.
That point of bling. Right, so the angels were blinging. Right, so what Ezekiel is describing here now is the angels sparkling. That's how splendid they look. And they were what? Like burnished brass. So the angels, Ezekiel saw 4 angels, and they were black. So God the Father black, His Son black, the angels black. Jeremiah 14 and 2 now.
Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourned.
So Judah was one of the tribes of Israel. Mourned. Continue.
And the gates thereof languish.
And the gates is where you use to control the coming in and the going out of a city. So the gates mean languages mean that it's left unattended. That's unattended. So Judah mourned and its gates what?
Languish.
And its gate. So Judah is in mourning and its gates, its stronghold is there languishing. No guards. Continue.
They are black unto the ground.
So Judah is black. And that is talking skin. They are black onto the ground. Continue.
And the city of Jerusalem gone up.
Right.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
Right. So Judah was the tribe there who controlled Jerusalem. Judah and Benjamin. Judah was the tribe who controlled Jerusalem. And they were in mourning because their leaders have failed them. Right? And they were not they were black because they were mourning. They were black because they are one of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Whom the Most High show you that He Himself is black, His Son is black, His angel is black, Judah is black, and so is the other 11 tribes. All right, Job, let's look at Job 30 and 30. No, sorry. Songs of Solomon 1 and 5.
Songs of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5.
So,
I am black.
Songs of Solomon. Jeremiah was written by the prophet Jeremiah. Songs of Solomon written by Solomon, one of the kings of Israel, one of the kings of Judah. And Solomon is saying what?
I am black.
Solomon is saying that he is black. So why does the Most High go through all the problems to show you? To record Solomon saying that he is black. Continue.
But comely.
Right. Solomon is saying that he is black, but he is beautiful.
O ye daughters of Jerusalem,
Yeah.
as the tents of Kedar,
Yeah.
as the curtains of Solomon.
And so he's describing his blackness. He means black like the tents of Kedar and as the curtains of that he has in his palace. Solomon obviously was probably blacker than me. So Solomon being an Israelite was black. Job 30 and 30.
Job chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
So this is Job. Job, famous Job, who was chastised in the Bible without a cause. Job is saying that is what?
My skin is black upon me.
Job is saying that his skin is black upon him. Continue.
And my bones are burned with heat.
So Job is black. Acts 13 and 1.
Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. Now, there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon,
So
that was called.
So these are some of the apostles.
And Simeon,
Barnabas, Simeon.
that was called Niger.
So Simeon was called Niger, and Niger is a Latin word for black. And today it is, well, people say mispronounced. Today it is deliberately pronounced as nigger. All right, so one of the teachers there was black. He was one of the Christ disciples. And Christ's disciples didn't come from every race on the face of the earth. Christ's disciples came from those who were living in Jerusalem. So Simeon is black. But why is Simeon called here black? Obviously Simeon was blacker than the others. You know, you have some man now black where you call him blacker. Yeah, we are all black people, you know. But you have some man where we call blacker. So Simeon was one of those men. But they didn't have the word blacker, so they call him Niger. And nigger. But that was when the word Niger. I think the word has been nigger from the beginning. saying it derogatorily. All right. So, what are we showing here now? We're showing who the curse fulfiller. We're showing you the Godhead, the order of who God works with. God works with Christ. There is Himself, Christ, the angels, His chosen tribe, which is Judah. His chosen people is Israel, and His chosen tribe is Judah. They are black. So His chosen people is black. I will show you that the Most High says that one of the curses that will be taken in slavery in ships. So what am I showing you now? That you here in Jamaica is of God's chosen people. What is significant of that? Is it any more significant than saying what Christians say that all can be saved? Let's examine. Let's go to Romans 9, 1 to 4. Book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 1.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 1. I say the truth in Christ. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost.
All right. So he's saying that he's speaking the truth in Christ and him not telling any lie. And his conscience also bearing witness in the Holy Ghost. But you know, Holy Ghost was one of the mistranslations in the Bible. It is Holy Spirit. Ghost is dopey. It's foolishness. Maybe that's what is on the Christians. That is the ghost. But it should be Holy Spirit. So his conscience bearing him witness in the Holy Spirit. Who write Romans again? Paul. Paul? Who was the apostle of the Gentiles? Paul. Yeah, man. Paul write Romans. Continue.
Romans 9, chapter 9 and verse 2. That I have great evidence and that I have great evidence and continual sorrow in my heart.
But Paul is saying that he has heaviness and continual sorrow in his heart. Why? Continue.
Verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren.
So what is, continue.
My kinsmen according to the flesh.
So what is he saying here now? That I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ. So he was saying now, you know, me being saved with Christ, I wish I could give up that being name, that spot that I would have with Christ. For the sake of my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. That's what he said. That's why he said accursed from Christ. Meaning, him not get to see Christ. I wish that I could just don't get to see Christ for the sake of saving my brethren. And who are these brethren? Continue.
Verse 4. Who are Israelites.
So these brethren are Israelites. I will don't show you what Israelites now. You here in Jamaica. So Paul writes in the Bible that he wishing could be accursed from Christ. For your sake, continue.
To whom pertaineth the adoption.
To whom pertaineth what?
The adoption.
What adoption is he talking about? Continue.
And the glory. And the covenant. And the giving of the law. And the service of God. And the promises.
So this is the New Testament you read. So this is what Paul is telling that is pertaining to you here in Jamaica, you Jamaican. The adoption is pertaining to you. Why? Because we are cast out from Jerusalem. Paul was the apostle of who? The Gentiles. And the Gentiles were those Israelites who were cast out from Jerusalem. Those Israelites who, when the kingdom split, you had the northern kingdom. And they didn't come back to Jerusalem to worship. So they became as the Gentiles, as the rest of the heathens, the rest of the people on the face of the earth. And then you had various captivities, like the Grecian captivity, the Babylonian captivity, the Assyrian captivity, who take persons from Judea, which was Jerusalem, and spread them all over the world. So they became Gentiles. So Paul was saying he wished that he could have been accursed to save these brethren, because to them is pertaining the adoption, the glory, the covenant which we just read, the giving of the law. So we are the ones who got the law and the service of God and the promises. But guess what? When Paul was writing that, there were some who were still being born in Jerusalem. But today what? We are all accursed. We are all cast out. Because we are all kicked out of Jerusalem. So this is pertaining to all 12 tribes.
The Christians will tell you that to whom pertain the adoption is included in all, is bringing in all people, all nations.
Well, this is what you find that the church does, you know. The Bible is already written. The Bible tell you who is speaking at a particular time and to whom the word is being speaking to. But the church under Rome was the one who did it, you know. They went and they interpreted their way. We were in slavery, we can't interpret it to them. So they interpret it their way. So they will tell you that the adoption is for all race. But right here it says what? Who are what?
Israelites.
Who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption, the glory, the covenant, the giving of the law, the service of God, and the promises. The promises were made to who? Abraham. And Abraham's seed through Isaac and Jacob. The promise was fulfilled. The promise of Christ and the promise of the kingdom. It's all Israelites. Regardless of what the other races might think, that they have a part in there. They have a part in there, according to the Bible, to be your slaves. We say that unapologetically because that's what the Bible says. That they will be your servants and your handmaids. Not to be joint heirs with Christ. The Israelites are joint heirs with Christ. And if you read further down in Romans 9, you see. But anyway, just read 5. What was it? 4? Romans 4? All right. Let me show you that part where it says joint heirs with Christ. All right, then you read the 7 year that says, because they are the seed of Abraham, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And it goes further down and explain what it means. But if you notice, when the Christians are telling you about the promise is to every race, they never read through the entire chapter. Never. Because you are not to know. They are just to sell you something and you pay them some money up front and they live lavishly off of your donations. That's what it's all about. They're selling them nothing. The Bible never teach that. All right, for time's sake, we're gonna move on. I don't see, that's fine. But it tell you here that the Israelites, all right, look, it can't be that far. Even us only as called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. All right, this is the part here where we're confused with Christians. 24 after. Even us whom he has called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. But if you remember when Christ was teaching the prodigal son, Christ was teaching that the northern kingdom will be coming back to serve God too, just like the southern kingdom. So all Israel will be one, the 12 tribes. But the church interpret that to tell you that one. No, the prodigal son, they use it to say Christians coming back from backsliding. Yeah, the prodigal son is the Christian coming back into the fold after backslide. But that is a lie. Because what Christ is teaching about the prodigal son is the rejoining of the northern kingdom who got broken up from King Solomon's son. And we're going into that. Purelize the teaching and distorting the people's mind and leading the people astray. All right, and in verse 5, it tells you that who are the fathers and of whom as concerning the flesh Christ came. So that right here it tells you that Christ came for those Israelites, for all Israel actually.
The Christians will tell you that they're spiritual Israelites.
Just like I say, Christianity tell you things that are not in the Bible. There's nothing in the Bible about no spiritual Israelite. What do I say here? According to the seed now no spiritual nothing. But then again, if them manage to convince people that Christ was born from from the Holy Ghost having sex with Mary, I can't show you anything basically. All right. Over. Let's go to where the kingdom split.
First King.
The kingdom split under Solomon. So let's get to First Kings 1. 11.
First Kings 11 and 1.
First Kings chapter 11. Let's go to the splitting of the kingdom.
First Kings chapter 11 and verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of Moabite, women of Moabite, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
So Solomon like now, Pharaoh was Egyptian, that Amite, Moabite, Chinese, Ammonite, the Japanese, either white woman. the Zidonians and the Hittites, they were they were also Africans, Hamites. So Solomon was cooking up a rainbow coalition there. Continue. We're going down to verse 11. Of the nations.
Verse 11.
No, we're reading from 1 to 11. We're showing the split of the kingdom.
From First Kings chapter 11 and verse 2. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your hearts after their God. Solomon clave unto these in love.
All right. So Solomon knew better now, because Solomon knew that he should not speak to these other nations. You know. But you here in Jamaica now, you married a woman of another race. You never did know. You didn't know. So you kind of different. You still come in the truth, and you will learn how to deal with that. You'll be forgiven for that. But Solomon wasn't forgiven because he knew better. Continue.
Verse 3. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart.
Right. Them make human them deceive him. His woman deceived him from turn away his heart from following the Most High. Continue.
Verse 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father.
All right, continue.
Verse 5. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of Zidonians, of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
The Ashtoreth, the god of the Ammonites, particular group of Ammonites known as the Zidonians, and Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. You know, continue.
Verse 6. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father.
Right, continue.
Verse 7. Then did Solomon build a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab.
Right, the Chinese.
In the hill that is before Jerusalem.
And until this day, the Buddha on top of a hill in with the Chinese. Continue.
And for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
All right, another Japanese. So these gods still exist today, no? Just under a different name.
Verse 8. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burned incense and sacrificed unto their gods.
So he married these women of other nation. He married them in many times in peace. Married the woman of this kingdom, so you're not going to invade this kingdom, because Israel was the dominant nation then. But the Most High said, to marry these women. They are going to turn your heart. And that's what happened to Solomon. Continue.
1 Kings 11 and verse 9. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice. Verse 10. And had commanded him concerning this thing.
So the Most High appeared to Solomon twice and warned him that
he should not go after, other gods, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Verse 11. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant.
All right. All right, and 12 so on.
Verse 12. Notwithstanding, in thy days, I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son.
So the Most High tells Solomon, so because you have these many strange wives who turn your heart from me, and you build in Israel, in the land, you build temple unto these other gods. So you have all the gods of the world in Israel, and you were not supposed to do that. So I'm going to rend the kingdom out of your hand. But because of your father David's sake, I'm not going to do it to you. I promised David that I will keep the kingdom in his son's hand. But I will rend it in your son's hand. And that son turned out to be none other than, let's go to 1 Kings 12 now.
First Kings chapter 12 and verse 1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. Verse 2. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled
from the presence.
For he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt.
Alright, so Solomon get an insight there. You know, they look like a this man, the Most High give the kingdom. So Solomon was trying to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam run away to Egypt. So Jeroboam now Jeroboam ran away to Egypt. Like all Israel do whenever time they are in trouble in the land, they seek refuge in Egypt. So he came back after him realized Solomon dead, and they're going to crown Rehoboam as king. So come back now. Continue.
Verse 3. That they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and
all the congregation
of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying.
Now you notice what they call, they didn't say the mass. They didn't say the mass or the citizens or something. We are called the congregation. That's a word that is being used in the church today. Don't. Congregation. You see? Right. But that is the word that is used to refer to the entire houses of Israel. We don't say citizens, like when we say the citizens of Jamaica. No. We say the congregation of Israel. Continue.
Verse 4. 1 Kings 12 and verse 4. Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore, make thou the grievous service of thy father, and is every yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee.
Right.
Verse 5.
So they congregate with Rehoboam now, led by Jeroboam. And they said, the father made the yoke on us heavy. Because what had happened was that Solomon was building the temple. So Solomon put a levy or a tax on the people that went towards the construction of the temple at Jerusalem. Massive undertaking. So temple finished built, but the tax was there still. So the people organized under the new king now and said, make the Lord, make this yoke lighter on us, and we will serve you. Continue.
And he said on verse 5, and he said unto them, depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed.
All right. So the people departed. He asked them to say, all right, give me 3 days and come back, and I will have an answer for you. Now he went away and he seek counsel from the elders of Israel, who were the older people. And then he also seek counsel from the younger men who he grew up with. So he get 2 advice as king. All right, come back down to 10 now. This is what the young...
1 Kings 12 and verse 10. And the young men that were grown up with him spoke unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spoke unto thee, saying, thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than thy father's loin.
And my father's loin.
Than my father's loin.
So these men now were telling him that don't ease up the pressure. In fact, tell the people that you have more balls than your father, you have more guts than your father, and you are going to make their yoke heavier. But bear in mind what the prophecy, you know, where the Most High says he's going to rend the kingdom out of King Solomon's son's hand. And look here, it's not so long ago before right after King Solomon he came about, you know. And yet still they don't remember the prophecy. So just imagine how far we are today from what is being spoken. Continue. And now,
verse 11. And now, whereas my father did lay you with every yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father, my father hath chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
I'm not sure so tougher than my father, you know, so you can stay the talk and talk about my father make yoke on you heavy. Continue.
Verse 12. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, Come to me again the third day.
So they come back now after the third day that Rehoboam had asked for. I'm going to read 13 to 20. And the king answered the people roughly. So the king spoke roughly to them and forsook the old men counsel that they gave him and spake to them after the counsel of the young men. So he didn't listen to what the old man, the advice that the old man gave him. What he spoke to the people about was what the young men told him. And spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So he was repeating something here like from a script, you know. Obviously, he didn't give it any thought. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord. The Most High was causing this place, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. So your tent, O Israel, now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tent. In other words, now them say, what portion we have with them? We don't have no portion of land with them. We don't have to listen to them. We don't have to listen to them. So this is the excuse now for taking the speech. Just like how we find excuse today for doing things that we should not do. We're not supposed to eat crap, but we're not supposed to eat shrimp. But what else we can find? We're not supposed to eat mackerel, but now we got that available. What that we can find? Excuse. So this is their excuse. Wherefore the king 17. But as for the children of Israel who dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. So within the border of Judah, that was where Rehoboam what I call it, you know, jurisdiction got restricted to. So everybody has left him. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones. So Adoram now was the tribute. You know what was the tribute? What was the tribute? Adoram was over the tribute. What was the tribute? Taxes. So Adoram was what? Today you would call him what?
Chief tax collector.
The Minister of Finance. So Adoram was the Finance Minister. And this is what they do with the Finance Minister. And all Israel stoned him with stones that he died. And they stoned the finance minister to death. Ah, boy. Therefore, King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So the king make case and take him up and carry him back to Jerusalem. But they stoned him, kill him. They stoned him to death. Not that really, I mean, our finance minister many times pressure us, but that we should be we should take a book out of this or a page out of their book here. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. They never go back until the kingdom, everybody get cast out of the land. And even until today, slavery, Judah enslaved basically by themselves. The other tribes were there. Didn't business with Judah. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation and made him king over all Israel. So they crowned another king in Israel now. And that was Jeroboam. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribute for the tribe of Judah only. So Judah was the only one left. But Benjamin had to join back Judah because all the land was distributed. Judah was this big encircle, like you would have all of Jamaica being Judah. And then within a part of Judah, you have Benjamin. So Judah's portion, Benjamin's portion was within Judah. So they couldn't leave. And then you have now the Levites who didn't have any portion at all. So some stayed down north and some stayed up south. All right, that was 20. Continue. I'm ready. Continue. Read fast.
1 Kings 12 and verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the houses of Judah and with the tribe of Benjamin and 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel.
180,000 men. Judah and Benjamin. They're going to fight against Israel now to bring them again onto Rehoboam. Bring them back on the throne. Continue.
To bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. Verse 22. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah,
the man of
God, saying,
Shemaiah now would be the man who was sitting as the judge of Israel, really, would be like General YAHANNA today.
God. Verse 23, speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the houses of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord.
Hello. Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord, ye shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel.
Right, so the Most High tell the prophet at that time, not that he should go to the king and tell him not to fight against their brethren, the children of Israel.
Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearkened therefore to the words of the Lord, and returned to depart according to the word of the Lord.
Right.
Verse 25. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim and dwelled therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel. Verse 26. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David.
All right, now read 27. So Jeroboam said, if these people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, listen to his reasoning himself. Well, you know, if these people go up to Jerusalem, because he's no king, you know, if these people go up to Jerusalem to do sacrifice, then shall the heart of these people turn again unto their Lord. So he's saying if them to go to Jerusalem to do their sacrifice and to keep the Passover and to keep the high holy days, the people's heart is going to turn back to the Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah. And their heart is also going to turn unto Judah as king. And they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Selfishness, eh? Just like Israel's false leaders today. Selfishness. And the excuse for not doing what is right. Because there's only one place you're supposed to keep the Passover. One place. While we were in Jerusalem, you keep it at Jerusalem. We're not in the land now, it is being kept in New York. You're supposed to keep anywhere else. One place. And that U.P.K. one other. Yeah, in Jamaica, we have one other. U.P.K. was the organization or the school chosen for Israel's rebirth. So it's one Passover, and that is where the U.P.K. is keeping it. And those other schools, fake Israelite schools, the same thing they say now. You know, if these people should go to New York to keep the Passover with GEN.YAHANNA, then their heart is going to turn from me. They are not going to follow the house of Israel. They are not going to follow, well, what is somebody else one name? Eh? JMS. They're not going to follow the house of Jacob. They're not going to follow the purple faggot. What are they? They're not going to follow IUIC. They're not going to follow Sikari. So many of them. And each one of their Passover. And it's not being kept with the U.P.K. Passover. And there should be one Passover. Even in the time of Christ, there was one Passover in the world. Anywhere the Jews were in the world, they go to Jerusalem. But here now, this selfish man named Jeroboam split the kingdom. The Most High said he was going to split the kingdom, but he could still allow the people to go to Jerusalem. But what did he do now? Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold. Then go right back to the golden calf and said unto them, it is too much for you to go to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. What a wicked act. Continue.
Verse 29. And he set the one in
Bethel.
in Bethel and the other in Dan.
And put the other in Dan. So in the one in Bethel, so two things them use, you know. All the church. He made two places of worship. One in Bethel and within Dan's portion. Continue.
Verse 30. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan.
So Dan now became his priest and not Levi. Maybe that's why they also Dan get wiped out, you know. Because they were the one who came forward now and took onto them this thing. Continue.
Verse 31. And he made an host of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi.
Which were what?
Which were not of the sons of Levi.
Continue.
Verse 32. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 8th and the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered up, and he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made.
All right. So, in copy the Passover, which was in Judah. So the Passover is to be in the first month, but he make a feast in the 8th month, like unto the Passover. Continue.
Verse 33. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast upon the children unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burned incense.
All right. So Jeroboam caused this deep split. And from Jeroboam time until today, the 10 tribes have not returned. Not physically in the land and not in their worship. They have not returned to the Most High. But Christ, in his story with the prodigal son, said that they shall return. And the Most High will have compassion on them. Because all 12 tribes being kicked out of the land, none is above none. Judah have nothing above any tribe now. And matter of fact, it's Judah's leadership why we lost the kingdom. Judah led the nation astray. So no one have anything on anyone now. All 12 tribes being kicked out. And all 12 tribes have the salvation in Christ. Because it is to we pertain the adoption. So the Most High is adopting us back into the fold. Not the other races. The other races wasn't given any laws to follow. And there was no covenant with them. The covenant was with us. And we are the ones who are to inherit the kingdom of heaven, whether they believe it or not. That is just the way it is. Regardless of what they tell you in the church, is what the Bible says. That's what takes precedence. And you here in Jamaica, you are one of the tribe of Israel. You are the members of the tribe of Benjamin. And we must return to Christ, return to God under the banner of Christ as such. Officer Abadawan from U.P.K, Jamaica. Until we meet again. Shalom.